day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. I am King Pigley. This is Gaming Imperfectly, the most imperfect channel on YouTube. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so glad you're here with me today. And if you are new to the channel, I am King Pigley, and I hope you like what you see. We're going to play a little Fall Guys today, but if you are new, you probably don't know what we do on the channel, so let me go ahead and tell you. Not only do we play video games on Gaming Imperfectly, but we also review movies. Why not? And video games. And any other thing that may come to King Pigley's mind, because that's what we do. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. But I hope you like what you see. So let's just jump into it. While we play Fall Guys today, we're going to review an absolutely ridiculous movie, Joe Dirt. Alright, if you haven't seen Joe Dirt, guys, it is offensive, it is hilarious, it's all of the above, and it's probably David Spade at his best. David Spade was on Saturday Night Live. If you don't know who David Spade is, guys, I don't know what to tell you. He's that whole Adam Sandler crowd, you know, 90s, that kind of thing. You know, he was real popular for a while. Best friends with Chris Farley, and of course, when Chris Farley passed away, or I should say, when Chris Farley died of an overdose. Chris Farley didn't pass away of old age, all right? I guess that's, we always do that, don't we, as humans? It's kind of funny. We always say, if he's passed away, no matter what, how tragically he died. Chris Farley died of an overdose, all right? There's the truth behind the situation, nothing romantic about it. And it affected David Spade greatly, and he just kind of fell off the wagon, you know, the acting wagon, if you will. You know, he does not exist in Hollywood, for a long time, he just didn't. He wasn't around after Farley's death. But, needless to say, Chris Farley, and as great as David Spade is with Chris Farley, after his passing, Joe Dirt's one of the movies that he did to kind of, I think, get over Chris Farley dying, you know. But it is a great movie. It's got a lot of cameos in it. Most notably, the person that stars in it that I really enjoy is Christopher Walken. You know, Christopher Walken's in this movie, and it is hilarious. He plays this guy named Clem, and it's just absolutely... I laugh every single time I see him on the screen. But let's just jump into it. So Joe Dirt, as again, stars David Spade, and it is just a raunchy-ass 90s comedy. I mean, I don't know what else to tell you. And he plays this Southern guy, which I find hilarious because I am from the South. I'm from North Carolina, and, you know, I have the accent and everything else. And, you know, it just, Joe Dirt reminds me of so many of my relatives and people I grew up with. It's just not even funny. And I just laugh and laugh and laugh, you know. But you see him, and he's working as a janitor in Hollywood, and you don't really know what's going on. And he's got this crazy mullet wig on. He's driving this just jacked up rust bucket of a fucking muscle car. And it's just hilarious. I mean, everything about this guy from the get-go. And he's listening to Leonard Skinner. It's hilarious, you know. Again, maybe it's because I grew up with people like this, like real life people who are real life Joe Dirts. I don't know, but I laugh. So anyway, he's a janitor at this place, and he's doing his thing there. And you know, you can already see he's getting picked on by the guys that work at this freaking, you know, at this studio. You know, they're all making fun of him, like, you know, oh, I left a little dirt, you know, because his name's Joe Dirt. And left a little dirt for you in the bath there. You know, time for me to go take a Joe. You know, that kind of thing. But anyway, at the same station, which is a radio station, we have Dennis Miller. Dennis Miller, again, huge star back in the day. You know, I mean, he had his time where he was like super famous comedian. I don't know what happened with Dennis Miller. I mean, he just kind of disappeared off the face of God's green earth too, as far as the acting is concerned and movies are concerned. All right, we did it. But he's in this, and so he's this disc jockey, he's this DJ, this radio host, this talk show host on a radio, and he sees Joe Dirt, he brings him in, you know, that kind of thing, and he was like, I'm gonna milk this for all it's worth. And he starts asking him about his mullet and this, that, and the other, and you find out that it's a wig because he was born without the top of his skull. And he put the wig on, his parents put the wig on so it wouldn't gross out everybody, but the bones kind of fused together like that, and it became permanent. And he's never cut it. Like, the idea of cutting his wig or styling it never came to his mind. And it's hilarious. And so, this is all going out live, and it really Joe starts endearing himself to the audience, to Dennis Miller's listeners, you know. And, he keeps coming back. Basically, day after day, you find out a little bit more about Joe Dirt's story. And that's what this is. It's a flashback. The story is actually, the movie is a flashback of his journey that led up to this interview that he's having and what's going on in life. And you see that Joe got left behind. As a child, Joe got left behind by his parents at the Grand Canyon in a trash can, you know. And clearly, they didn't want Joe, which is really, really sad. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, Joe Dirt, gets left. It's really sad, and so he gets put in an orphanage, but he didn't stay there long because it wasn't his thing, and he hit the road, and he went riding the rails, and he kind of grew up on the streets, that kind of thing. Foster home after foster home, you get to see him get put into a foster home where a guy treats him like a dog, literally, teaches it, and it's really sad, but it's funny at the same time, because it's a comedy, and they put it in a sad light. If it was real, if this was a drama, it'd be a terrifying movie, David Spade continues on until he gets older, until Joe is a grown man. He leaves the foster home system, goes basically riding the rails and hitchhiking and doing things no kid would do, until eventually he sees what he thinks is a meteor land at one point in time. He's like, oh, it's a meteor landed. Oh, that was the quickest thing ever. Oh, damn it. So, it's not, anyway, he gets this meteor, he's like, you're my lucky meteor, and it's pretty funny, you're my lucky meteor. All right. He takes it into town, and of course he gets picked on there too. But he's like, I'm going to find out how much you're worth, meteor. And so he ends up finding like $5 on the ground and goes buys him a cheeseburger and some fries. And he's like eating off of this meteor, the meteor. And so he takes this meteor into this, I don't know, mineral store. I guess they have those to where people have rock stores. But he takes him into this store to find out if this meteor is in fact worth anything. And the guy's like, it's not a meteor, it's a big old ball of poopy. And they call them Boeing bombs. And they come out of Boeing 747, so at high altitude, 30,000 feet, they dump their poop tanks and it freezes in the air and hits the ground. So he's basically been eating off a big pile of shit. It's hilarious, guys. I mean, and then another time, in the film, Joe ends up finding a Native American guy who's selling who's selling fireworks. He's a fireworks salesman. Oh, you son of a bitch. I didn't know those things fell out. Oh, one to watch. Well, I should have been watching my ass. So anyway, yeah, we're going to quit. No, I don't want to do this. I want to play again. So he's been eating off this big pile of poop. But in the same town, he ends up finding Hottie McHottie. I don't even know this girl's name, all right? But all I know is that Kid Rock, when he was still cool, before he became the giant redneck white trash that he is today, when Kid Rock was still relevant in the music world, and I think he was banging Pamela Anderson at this point in time, he's in this movie again, and he plays this bully, and he does such a great job of it, because I don't know Kid Rock. Maybe Kid Rock is a wonderful human being, but if you're fighting in Waffle Houses and marrying 86-year-old Loretta Lynn, I have to question your morality. And I think he's a douchebag in real life. I mean, I just do. However, in this movie, if he's not a douchebag, he did a great acting job, because, man, is his character in this a douchebag. And he's after this girl named Brandy. And again, Hottie McHotterton is what I call her, because Hottie is Hottie. And, she's in this with, David Spade. She has a dog named Charlie. Charlie gets his nuts frozen to the porch, and David Spade helps him get it off. And it's so weird. It's so funny. His dog's balls are frozen to the porch, and he's like, get a spatula. And he's like trying to use the spatula to get this dog's nuts unfrozen from the porch. It's so funny. Then you also have a really funny cameo with, I can't remember her name now. It's not Jamie Presley, I don't think is her name. I can't remember her name. Another blonde one. But she meets Joe at a carnival, and she's like, hey, you tilt the world. She's so southern slut. I'm sorry. I grew up with some girls like that. I just did. Look, nothing wrong with women. Women can sleep with as many men as they are. It does not make them trashy. However, there are women who sleep with lots of men that are trashy. This girl is trashy, okay? Not all women that sleep with lots of men are trashy. You might just like sex. This girl is trashy, okay? So let me say that. I just want to clarify before I start telling you about how trashy, white trash this girl is. Because, boy, she's gross. And so she takes Joe back to her house to fuck, you know. And Joe's talking to her, and he's like, I think you might be my sister. It's so funny. You just have to watch it, guys. He's like, yeah. And she's like, oh. She's like, you know, they're having sex. You're my sister. He's like pretending I'm your sister. I'm your sister. It's so weird. It's funny. It's gross all at the same time. Again, you fast forward, Joe leaves her behind. He meets this girl, the Hottie McHotterton. He lives with her for a while, but then he moves on from her because he still wants to find his parents. Whole time, Joe's on searching for his parents. Why did he lose them at the Grand Canyon? He wants to find them. Joe finally, meets Clem as a janitor. He's working as a janitor at a school, and that's where you find Christopher Walken. And he's just hilarious in this. You know, it's not something you expect to see Christopher Walken in. It's just not. But it's so funny that he is in this, and he does such an amazing job in it, guys. As far as humor is concerned, you know, he's like playing Clem. He's like, yeah, I'm from New Orleans. He totally sounds like he's from New York. You know, turns out like he's a mob boss in hiding. Like he's, you know, he's whatchamacallit, in witness protection. And he's hiding there. Of course, Joe outs him. And the mafia guys come to kill him, and that's hilarious in itself because he ends up killing all of them and fakes his death again, and it's all funny, guys. I mean, there's a great scene where, you know, Clem's talking about his wife, and he, you know, when he's still alive, you know, before he fakes his death the second time with Joe. Yeah, boy, that was close. I was right there at the end. And Joe, you know, he's talking about his wife, how hot his wife was. And so Joe starts talking to him because he thinks he's dead. He's under a sheet, like, by the corner. He's like, oh, your wife's honey brown skin. And all of a sudden he gets an erection, like the towel goes up, or the sheet. You know, he's like, Clem, you son of a bitch. It's hilarious, guys. Again, he meets this Native American guy who's got this fireworks stand. And the guy's like, I only have snakes and sparklers. Because he only likes snakes and sparklers. He's like, well, that may be your problem. You need some Hoosker do's and some Hoosker don'ts, and it's so funny. Over and over again, this movie is hilarious. And eventually you find out that Joe's parents didn't leave him behind accidentally. They left him behind on purpose. And they're just horrible human beings. And the girl, Hottie McHotterton, that he had found earlier, Brandy, that he had met earlier, actually really likes Joe. Like, a relationship likes him, like wants to go out with Joe. Of course, he's oblivious because he thinks she's so hot that she could never like somebody like him, and that she likes Kid Rock. But she doesn't like Kid Rock. Why was I turning around backwards? You see that? I think facing the whole wrong direction. So, oh, easy there, Tiger. Well, I want to go. So, but yeah, she like calls Joe up and says, hey, I found out about your parents and that they're dead. Your parents are dead. Joe's like, oh man, he's really sad. But then he finds out that Joe's parents, that they're not dead. In fact, they're very much alive. And he's like, oh no, my parents are alive. Why did Brandy lie to me? You know, I don't understand why Brandy lied to me. And, he goes and he finds his parents for himself, but he's mad at Brandy and this, that, and the other. And he turns out his parents are just absolutely horrible human beings. Damn it. Horrible human beings. And, but he goes to kill himself. Like, he's going to go jump off a bridge kind of thing. But they put an elastic band on him. They save him. Brandy's like, oh, yeah. So when he wakes up, he's got a new hairdo. He finishes the story with Dennis Miller. And then, like I said, all that happens after that. Like, he finishes his story with Dennis Miller about how he's looking for his parents. And that's how basically he finds his parents, through this connection with Dennis Miller. And they help him find his parents. But then he finds out they're terrible people. Tries to off himself. Survives. And then, like, everything's fine. He wakes up, and Clem and everybody's there to protect, you know, that love him, and that his new family, his real family, are the family that he made on this journey to find his shitty family. And it's really kind of touching. It really is. There's a scene, too, where David Spade, you know, is talking to Dennis Miller. Dennis Miller says, you know, what's going on with your hair? You know, your facial hair, because it's shaved. Like, he's got it really white trash shaved, you know, redneck white trash shaved. like a white trash Tony Stark, you know. And he says he says that grows it all patchy like that on its own. And Dennis Miller says to him, so let me get this straight. He says, you're so ingrained with white trash DNA that your facial hair grows in all patchy like that on its own. And David Spade says, yeah, I don't know what you're saying, but yeah, that's what's happening. It's so funny, man. I laugh so hard at that part. Because my facial hair grows in all patchy like that. I don't know if you guys can see. I need to shave right now. But I can't grow a beard. Dude, I just turned 43 years old a few days ago, guys, and I cannot grow a beard to save my life. It grows it all patchy. It looks like I got the fucking mange. And so when I hear Joe Dirt talk about that, I just think it's the funniest thing, because I can relate. But anyway, guys, that's Joe Dirt. I'm going to go ahead and rate Joe Dirt. I'm going to give Joe Dirt 3 crowns. It's watchable, it's funny, it's not anything great, guys, and it's offensive at times, most certainly. It's sexist towards women, it can be disparaging towards minorities, like Native Americans. It's not, but it's still, again, it's a 90s comedy. I do believe it's David Spade at his finest, though. I totally recommend watching it. If you're into comedies, raunchy comedies, this is the movie for you, if you haven't seen it yet. But anyway, go check it out. Joe Dirt, 3 crowns. Let me know what you think about it in the comment section below. But that's it for King Piggly today, guys. Thank you so much for being here. If you're new to the channel, I hope you'll consider subscribing and keep coming back. But please, no matter what, smash in that like button. It helps me out, lets me know you're enjoying the content. And if you haven't done it yet and you are subscribing to this channel, smash that bell, guys. Get the notifications so you don't miss out on the next most imperfect video here on Gaming Imperfectly with your host, King Piggly, the most imperfect host on YouTube. But that's it. I'm done. And I will see you guys in the next video.